how this building, how this came to be. You know, one of the, I know I'm jumping around a little bit. This was created as an environment to encourage positive talk amongst black. That's what this environment is supposed to do. And most people say it somehow achieves that. You know, we do a lot of organizing out of here. We do a lot of coming together out of here. We have something called LCPAN, Leadership Council of Pan-African Nationalism, in which 20 organizations have come together.
Greetings, family. We want to open up by saying Akbar, Karibu. That means welcome. And we thank you for coming out to share with us this evening. We were kind of waiting for the family to come, but we know they'll be here. At least some of them told me they'd be here, so, and they better be here. So we thank everybody for coming out, taking out their wonderful time to share with us this evening as we celebrate 50 years of Pan-Africanism with the celebration of the African Union. Started in, 1963. And that's been quite a long journey. So we're here, and we'll be celebrating and commemorating and discussing a lot of the things that has happened and things that need to happen or should happen. So, and we have some very honorable guests here this evening, Minister Akbar Muhammad and Sister Judy Miriga. Did I say that right?
Correct.
All right. I don't know how we got Mary, but we apologize for that name. And we also have Barbara Lumumba, who's the host of this building, the UMOJA house. So let's give ourselves a round of applause, please. Very briefly, I'd like to just mention some of the things that happened in September. We had WADU here in September, the World African Diaspora Union. We had the president, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, here, and the place was packed, and he turned it out. In other words, you know, because you know Leonard Jeffries, he can speak for a long time, and it was a great presentation he did on all this journey throughout Africa. And we also had a lot of other guests here from many parts of the world, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Cameroon, of course here in the United States, and all over the world. We just had a real Pan-African journey in September, and Dr. Jeffries blessed us with that. So, and before we introduce the first guest, I would like to acknowledge all of the, I should say the first speaker, but I would like to acknowledge all of the guests that we have in the house today. We'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge some of our guests, some of our people that have come afar. Maybe they can introduce him or herself before we begin.
Hello everybody. My name is Miriga. I'm coming from Kenya.
All right, from Kenya. All right, we're going to leave the guest speakers for later because y'all going to come up with a real special. Just the guests who are not presenting. People who are here, part of an organization, an institution. My brother.
My name is Bob Yaya. I live in Baltimore. I spent many years here in D.C.
All right.
And I just want to thank Miriga for all these years of dedication. When I was like a young guy, counting stuff in my head,
Right.
even to the point that the continuity. I just asked Brother Akbar about who was my minister. The brothers next door, on New Jersey Avenue, right? He's able to maintain this continuity. So, I'm Brother Yaya, and thank you all. Thank you. All right.
Thanks for coming and sharing. Okay. Yes, you're special. Yeah.
So, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
And
I'm sorry, Barghani.
I'm Zarina Shakir, and I am with WPFW Radio, Arlington Independent Media and Television, and DCTV, and also a filmmaker.
Very good. Very good.
I am with the, I'm a staff writer with the Final Call newspaper.
Very good. All right.
Thank you.
How y'all doing? I'm Brother Latif Tariq, student at Howard University, who just come out to support the community.
Very good.
I'm Tony Stamp. I'm with the local division 330 of the UNIA. I'm second vice president.
What's the UNIA, brother?
Universal Negro Improvement Association, started by the Honorable Marcus Garvey.
Yes. Okay, very good. All right.
Hi, my name is Tanya Davis. I'm just a community person, and I'm here to learn.
Okay, very good.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tayo Amole, and I'm just a member of the community, and I heard we were going to have this tonight on WPFW, so I came out. I actually heard it on the radio this morning,
All right.
so I came out.
Very good. Thanks for coming and sharing. All right.
My name is Khadija Farrakhan. I'm with Brother Akbar. He's like another grandfather to me. So.
All right. Very good. Khadija, is your name?
Yes.
Oh, you the minister's granddaughter. Oh, okay. Well, will we hear from you this evening?
I wish I had something to say.
Oh! We know you have a whole lot to say. Okay, so Sante Sana for sharing. Okay, my brother.
Yes.
Just introducing ourselves.
Okay. Orukumi Ade Oba Tokumbo. My name is Ade Oba Tokumbo. And when I heard that this brother was here, I had to come.
Great.
He's one of the most honorable and noble brothers on the planet.
Very good.
I can verify that. He and I don't usually roll out the house together when I mention the brother's name. I'm coming.
Okay, very good. Without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Baba Lumumba, and he and I partner together with the United Black Community. And each month we have a different forum here discussing different topics that are critical to African people, black people in the world, not just in the United States, but wherever we are. And we have a forum coming up this coming Friday. I think he passed out the flyers, Brother Kamal. What's the name of that forum, Bob?
Global warming and climate change, implications in Africa, and international and interconnection world, and how it interconnects world economy. So I did get a little flyer.
You have to be here to see this. Brother Kamal Siddiqui, he's an engineer. He's a world traveler also. He just got back from South Africa, and he's a scuba diver, and engineer, and pilot, and he do a whole lot of things. But he's really knowledgeable on water situation around the world. So he's going to come and share what's going on with Africa and the world and water. And last month we had the forum on economics, and I was the facilitator for that. And we had a very fruitful discussion and a lot of upcoming follow-up with that on economics. We dub it economics for self-reliance, because if it's just plain old economics, it's not enough. It should be associated with being self-reliant as a people. We're too dependent.
I know y'all preaching to the choir, but we need to break the backbone of dependency and begin to be self-reliant, not just here in the United States, but in Africa as well. And I know there's a big land grab going on, and everybody's trying to get some of that action over there. But hey, we'll talk about it. I know we have guests who's going to speak, know more about it than I have. They probably forgot more than I know, so that's what we're going to hear from later on. So where did Baba Lumumba go? I'm just getting ready to introduce him. See, that phone get him in trouble. That phone get that brother in trouble. That's why he lost the other one. Today he got a new one. In trouble. All right, Baba Lumumba, United Black Community. He's the house man for UMOJA House.
That was Brother Siddiqui, in fact, calling. I'm trying to get him here. Brother's going to do the lecture next week. I was calling him. He called me back to try to get him here tonight.
Is he coming?
I told him what I do, and I talk a little longer, he's heard me enough, so he doesn't have to hear me. You know, he needs to hear you, but he doesn't need to hear me. So I got one of these new gadget telephones too. I lost my old flip phone. It's driving me crazy. You know, it's really. I mean, it's just doing things I don't understand, you know what I mean? I think one of the things when you get older, you understand there's a difference between change and improvement, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We have a tendency, human beings have a tendency to equate every change with improvement. They call it progress. It's only when you get more than it takes from you, you can call it progress. Some of these changes, this ain't progress, you know what I mean? This is simply change. You know, the election, Barack Obama, they kept talking about change. And it kept occurring to me. I said, why don't anybody just say the simplest fact that you can change for the good or the bad? And there's 50% of chance, at least, that what your change comes along, you're going to wish that you had never experienced it. You know, no one's seen this fundamental reality of the world. No one seems to get that. And maybe it takes a certain amount of gray hair. I was... when the brother walked up, I don't know what it's like. I've been around a long time, but anybody who's been in the struggle for as many years as I have this automatic affinity to. You know, I mean, I just, you know, I wasn't sure. He says he's about a year older than me, but you know, so he's my senior, but that's close enough. You know what I mean? There is a real inner strength, I think, an inner desire from my part to connect with this and understanding this long struggle that we've been involved in. You know, this very lengthy struggle. In our lifetime, how many things have happened? I was talking to the sister earlier about, you know, some of the things, you know, some of the roads I've traveled. How this came to be, you know. I know I'm jumping around a little bit. This was created as an environment to encourage positive talk amongst black. That's what this environment is supposed to do. And most people say it somehow achieves that. You know, we do a lot of organizing out of here. We do a lot of coming together out of here. We have something called LCPAN, Leadership Council of Pan-African Nationalism, in which 20 organizations have come together. I've always said this has been one of my themes. I said, those who preach black unity must themselves be more unified. That's a fundamental step that we have forgotten. You know, people talking, they're going to unify all black people. Well, how are you going to unify people who you don't agree with? You know, you're not going to fundamentally do that. We have forgotten that basic step. If you disagree with me only 10%, we end up arguing with each other about that 10%. We forget about the 90% that we have in common. If we believe in independence from this system, we ought to be united with other people who believe in independence from this system. You know, as simple as that, you know. And the other important reality is that our people will not respect the opinions of those who preach independence until they show unity. You understand? We can't just be like everybody else. We can't be as backbiting, as fighting, as you know. We can't be as competitive with each other. What do they see different from us? If they don't see our unity, then they see our lies. They see our hypocrisy. They see the lack of difference between what we stand for or what we do and what other people stand for. You know, we say we love being black. We say we appreciate our culture. We say we want to be with our people. We say we value our ancestors. We love how we connect with them. We say those things. But the brother right next to us who believes 85, 90, 95% of what we believe, we spend our time alienating from him. I mean, battling him, you know, and I know he coming up in the 60s, coming up in the late 50s. I was telling the sister that I remember the late 50s. It's not just the 60s. I remember the 50s. You know, I remember when Ghana got its independence in '57. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the Cuban Revolution. I remember all of these things. You know, and they were part of my life. You know, it's interesting about being this age, our age, because when you look at the world after World War II and the changes that occurred after World War II, I was born in 1944. That means I was born before that war ended, right? In the middle of World War II. And we're still here. We're still kicking, right? But look how the world has changed. All of which we have experienced in our lifetime. We've lived through that. We've been a part of the world that is dramatically different. We've seen, I always have fun with people when I talk about telephones that, party lines. When I talk about there was no such thing as television. They can't get it through their head. What do you mean no such thing as television? Yeah, life was fine when there was no such thing as television. When you sat down and you heard the stories on the radio, you just sat there and your mind created these images. You made it in your head, but you realize that it helped your creativity. You know, when you wanted a toy, you didn't buy it, but you went and got an old cart and got wheels and got, you know, and you got rolled down a hill and you had big fun. You know, when you play with marbles, you made circles and dropped the marbles in and played with the marbles. Or you went and got bugs and you got little, you know, you got salamanders and you got lizards and you got put them in jars and you just, I mean, and when you look around and you see the young people around, they got no idea what the world was like. No idea. I remember the first time I heard Brother Malcolm. I had a privilege of having talked to him on 3 different occasions. One was at WST when he was at in New York last year. He was also headed DC, so he would spend weekends here and there.
Now the 9:30.
Yeah, now the 9:30 Club, but it's at WST. And I remember the first, and I used to go hear him speak there. And I used to live 2 doors down from the Mastia on New Jersey Avenue, so I would go over there and hear him. And I went up to New York when I first came to DC. The first place I went to when I came from California, Oakland, in 1962 to go to Howard, I went to New York to hear Malcolm. That's why I went to New York, to feel that. And then, you know, I think that his presence, I try to tell people these things, but you don't understand the presence of a great person like that until you have sat in the room with him. Till you realize, to his aura, not necessarily his words, but his aura just takes you over, and you're just stunned, and you feel fulfilled. You feel this is an answer. It's just like picking up the first time when you found out what Garvey did. You know, when you first, what Garvey did, what? How many millions of black people? What? They were, you know, or to step in the room. I remember the nation going to the auditorium on the Savior's Day, and thousands of black people, you know, and the strength that you feel, as whether you're a member or not a member, the strength that you feel, the power of that. Then go through the years. Howard, I mean, you know, there are many stories to tell. I'm not here to tell these stories. But anybody who has lived during this period is, I don't know if we're blessed or cursed, but we've lived through this magnificent period of social change where we've seen black people before they were conscious. I remember when my sister-in-law in Oakland had more natural hair for the first time. And I remember the other black people on the bus. I was just a little kid, and I remember the other black people on the bus being repulsed. They had never seen natural hair, and they were embarrassed, and they were like, oh, look at what she's doing. And I remember this little woman saying, they're going to find out we got bad hair. You know, I mean, I remember these things as a child, and saying to myself, wait a minute. You know, putting this together and reading about Garvey, and experiencing Malcolm, and seeing the Nation of Islam, and being around when Muhammad Ali did what he did. The sense of power, the sense of strength, the sense of that we're gonna beat this guy. You know, we're gonna win. You understand? And I can't convey those feelings. I know somebody we can convey those feelings. We can say this out. Look here. This happened. We lived through it. We know the heights of our strength. We know our potential. We know how great we can be. We've seen these mighty, magnificent human beings that are black provide us leadership, provide us direction, give us what we need, and we know we can get back. Now, at the time, we thought it was a foregone conclusion that we were going to win. We had no idea we would be in the situation we're in now. These things are always difficult to talk about. I'm sorry. That's all right. Okay. These things are always difficult to talk about, you know. And when with somebody in the room who has, I wouldn't say been the same journey, but had lived through that same period, who I know I don't have to talk about it with this brother here. I can look at his face. I can see when he smiles. I can see what he's talking about. I know we've lived the same period of time. And I've just become to realize, after having children and going through 2 or 3 wives and after going, you know, many journeys, let's say, so to speak, that when you live, the period in which you live ends up being very, very important in terms of shaping you. I can't communicate many times with my own son who's in Chicago, let's say, making a lot of money as a lawyer, and I can't even tell him his mama's happy about him making a lot of money. I'm sad because he's not really doing much for the community. You know, he's not really. I mean, it saddens me. You know, it makes me feel like a failure, so to speak. You know, and I as you can see, I'm not prepared to I didn't come up here with a speech, and I'm prepared to talk about it, but. And I don't want to lapse into a history of my own life, because that's really not the point of it. The whole question of African unity and Pan-Africanism and the where we're going as a people, many questions have been raised, because one of the things that we need is an endpoint, is a goal, is some sense that what is it going to mean in the world in which we live in? You know, does African unity mean, is that a geographical term? Is black people going to unite? You know, I mean, you know, what kind of? We've seen, for example, what happened in Sudan. We see what happened with Gaddafi and how black people got chased out. You know, and we see when he turned to black people and tried to create these links, how many of his own population he alienated or got angry with him because of that. When we see these issues, you know, but what do they mean to us? We see what happened to the ANC. Another thing, when you look at, they're putting a lot of stories on television, and what you see on television, you'll see, for example, in Africa, the story of South Africa is the story of the ANC's triumph. Well, I mean, do the black masses of South Africa, have they triumphed? Or do we just have a few rich people? Is Barack Obama's election, is that a triumph for black people? What are we talking about? You know, we're left to still figure these things out, you know, because we have these black governments, because we have these personal success stories, if you will. How does it translate into the vision that we had 50 years ago, 60 years ago, about us as a people being stronger? What does it all mean? We have failed, it seems to me, in spite of our movement, to analyze and provide answers to key questions about, especially in the world in which we live in, key fundamental questions about where we're headed. What is our end game? What's it going to look like if we succeed? And what is success from how we see it? What is, you know, the oppression that we feel, they call it skin color, but my feeling is that, you know, being a black person isn't skin color. You know, it is a combination of who your mother and father were and who their mother and fathers were, etc., etc. It's you know, it's like, how absurd would it be if I said, no, we reduce black people to the width of their nose. No, we the big nose people, you know? It wouldn't make any sense. Oh, we're the kinky-haired people. Or but we have no problem calling us the black-skinned people, as though that defines us as a people. It doesn't define us as a people. That's one, even if you talk about physical characteristics, that is only one physical characteristics. There's a whole bunch of other physical characteristics, you know? I might say, man, them pretty sisters with, you know, with them fantastic shapes. That's another characteristic. But that doesn't define us either. But the reality is we have a lot to sort out that hasn't yet been sorted out. And when the issue of Pan-Africanism comes along, when the issue of where we're going and what's going to happen, we now have to sort out this whole question of the privileged amongst us, you know, who somehow are able to parlay for personal gains whatever they have. How Barack Obama got to be president of the United States. It's very interesting. You have black people today in this society saying, I'm not an African, and being proud that Barack Obama is the president, and the only connection they have with Barack Obama was his father, who was from Kenya, who was an African. That's the only connection they have. But they in the hand will talk about, I'm not an African. This is what we accept this. We don't challenge. This is nonsense. This is total, absolute, ridiculous nonsense. Complete absurdity. But that go every day. We have this. I happen to notice, and I'm going to be quiet just a second because I didn't really even come to speak. I noticed a lot of times when the sort of self-hatred that we've always seen in black people. You're at a store, and many times it's a continental brother from Africa or an Ethiopian or somebody who is behind the counter. So, and a white person comes up, you'll see a smile on their face. They're very polite. When you walk up, the smile goes away and they become businesslike. Another white person comes up, they smile on their face. I mean, I see it all the time. Most people don't notice it, but I notice it. You go to a restaurant and the sister waiting tables. You come in first, but the white folks get served first. You see this all the time. You see it in cab drivers. We still see it today. We used to call, the self-hatred syndrome, the whole, your child choose a white doll or a black doll kind of syndrome. But we still have that today. I mean, it's still very, very strong in black people today. We still don't have a great appreciation and love for ourselves. We really don't. And on that basis, just like I was talking about earlier, even the black nationalists have failed to realize that their responsibility is to connect with other people who of like mind. That's their responsibility. Even though they're the loudest, we're often the loudest supporters of some concept of black unity, we're often the least unified. How can the people who shout black unity the loudest be the least unified? Does that make sense? Well, no, it's consistent with our history. It's consistent with our history. But there's a fundamental problem that we have yet to successfully address. And we need to address it amongst Pan-African nationalists. As far as I'm concerned, out of the 60s, one of the best things that happened was Kwanzaa. Now, you may or may not agree with me, but Kwanzaa that was a genius. What Miriga did was a stroke of genius. The reason is that those principles can't be co-opted. They can't be co-opted. Self-determination can't be co-opted. It is political by its very nature. You can't say so. We mean a people. We don't mean a person. We mean a people. So self-determination is, UMOJA, unity. We mean a people. Faith, it's not even religious. Faith in Kwanzaa is not even a spiritual concept. It is faith in your leadership. You fail to realize that. It ain't got nothing to do with your faith in your God. And that's nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is that it gave us an opportunity to come together based on a common collective identity. A common collective identity. What is that common collective identity? Well, there's a lot of work being done. The work at Chikanda Diop. People have said what it is. Why do we differ from other people in the world? What is our core identity? What makes us different than these other people, the people who we're fighting? And that gets down to what we're fighting for. What we're fighting for. We're fighting to be ourselves, but more than not just look like ourselves and practice our culture, but we're fighting for relationships between each other that fit our way of looking at life. We're fighting to have a relationship with my wife or my husband or my children, my neighbors, my friends. We're fighting for the right to be ourselves without understanding what ourselves is, without defining ourselves completely. And therein lies our contradiction. We haven't inadequately defined ourselves, and some of that is vis-a-vis these other people, you know. But some of it is without respect to these other people, irregardless of these other people, you know. Some of it is just who we are. Some of it is, for example, I'll give you an example. How, you know, yes, we had slavery, but we didn't practice slavery like they practiced slavery, obviously. We didn't, you know, our slaves became part of our societies that went on to become kings and queens within that society. Our slaves became part of us because we saw these things differently, because we have a different relationship to nature itself than they do. And we haven't come to grips with that fundamental difference between us and them enough to appreciate and build a political strategy around those differences. We have emphasized the superficial differences between us and emphasizing things like skin color. Well, you know, that doesn't get to the heart and soul of who and what we are. It doesn't not get there. And I know I've gone on too long, but one of the reasons I'm going on a little long is that I'm trying to make sure other people get it for the main speaker. You say that sounds like an excuse to you, huh? Well, part of it because I'm in my own place, so I didn't do that. But anyway, I'm gonna let it go at that. This brother is gonna come today. I'm gonna pass out these flyers for our event. You pass those out, Imamu, and let it go at that. So you heard enough of me tonight. I might have some questions to ask the brother when he finishes speaking, but I'm honored that he's here. I'm pleased that a person of my age who's been around as long as I have, he's been more in the limelight, but I'm excited about it. I'm happy he can see what we're doing here. And assalamu alaikum.
All right, thank you. All right, give Bob a member hand. Okay, give thanks. Okay, we're going to open up the forum today with our first guest, invited guest, Judy Miriga. Miriga. What does that mean? Miriga.
Traditional cultural music from my husband's family.
Oh, okay. Very good. Okay, and she is the CEO and Executive Director of Confederation Council Foundation for Africa. And I guess she's going to explain what all that means, right? Okay, so let's give Mama Judy Miriga a well round of applause, please.
Hamjambo.
Hatujambo.
Salam alaikum. Asanteni sana kwa kunikaribisha. Thank you very much for welcoming me here tonight. I am really grateful to be amongst the great brains that I have just heard. The history is part of our black society, and it is part of us. We have lived it, we were born and found it, lived it, but we want to do things differently. Again, my name is Judy Miriga. I am here with my husband, and I am the CEO and Executive Director for Confederation Council Foundation for Africa. And the reason why I'm here is the same purpose of the struggle that we have been in a journey and we have not reached our destination. And so, Black African community here is a part of the whole Africa family. And when I'm here amongst you, I feel very much at home. And what I'm going to present is a dialogue. We are going to share, and we are going to shape it, and we are going to turn it around and make it a reality. We don't have to be a whole house full or a multitude of people to make things happen. One or two people can make things happen. Although it looks difficult, but there's a way. Honoring Pan-Africanism at the celebration of 50th anniversary on the 21st century, which now is a scramble to Africa. And we are going to begin our activities from May 25th all through 2014. We have a whole year to plan individually, in a group, faith-based, in any way or form. Let our people come up with any project, any program, any idea. Let us share and brainstorm. You never know what God has in store for us. Things might be different, and maybe this is the time Africa is going to make it to our destination. Black historical culture and tradition is deeply rooted in the struggle for freedom. And this in part is recognized in honor of the value struggle of the Pan-Africanists. And it is for dignity, value, and virtue of black human race to be recognized and respected under human rights as a whole. The African American culture has its origin rooted in Africa. The black's cultural value is a blend of chiefly the sub-Saharan Africa and the Sahelian cultures. Although slavery greatly restricted the ability of Americans of African descent to practice their cultural traditions, many practices, values, and beliefs survived and over time have modified or blended with those of white cultures and other cultures such as those of Native Americans and the Jamaicans in the Caribbean islands. And in such struggle, we recognize people like Patrice Lumumba from Congo, Tom Mboya of Kenya, Martin Luther King of USA, Nkrumah of Ghana, Nelson Mandela of South Africa. I'm saying Tom Mboya because Tom Mboya made a journey to come to America to meet with Martin Luther. And when he went back, he did not stop from the point where he came to America to meet Martin Luther. He organized a group of people to come to America. And one of them was the father of Obama. And that is how the father of Obama came to where they are coming from into where they are going. Thankfully, we are now witnessing a glimpse of the African Renaissance due to the sacrifice of great leaders such as Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, Reverend Martin Luther King, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, Queen Madamu, Dr. John Clegg, Abdias du Nascimento, Ambassador Dudley Thomas, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and Nelson Mandela. These are other courageous people who are able to unify across the globe in struggle for freedom and justice in Africa. And in the African diaspora, where today is very prominent, we have decided to make African diaspora be an active part and involved in the African Union, and thank God we have also been accepted. There is a representation of African diaspora. Their struggle resulted in the May 25th, 1963, you're right, and established an organization of African Union, African Unity, now the African Union, that spearheaded the decisive struggle for African freedom, human rights, independence, and now for greater unity, to continue strengthening their freedom and to reunite with their children in the United States and beyond after centuries of forced separation. The African Union has invited and encouraged the full participation of the African diaspora as an important part of our continent in the building of the African Union for a peaceful, unified, and prosperous Africa. During the 20th ordinary session of the African Union meet Assembly in Ethiopia from January 22nd to 28th, just recently ended, the African Union leaders declared May 25th, 2013, the 50th anniversary of the organization of the African Union, calling for those of African descent across the world to commemorate May 25th, this year to May 25th, 2014, as a tribute to African people's long struggle for their freedom, independence, human rights, and justice. This month of May, we celebrate the rebirth of a people who have given so much to the foundation of our life and the future of humanity. The West Africans, the Eastern Africa, the Jamaicans with those Native Americans believed that spirits dwelled in their surrounding nature. For this, they honor their cultural community leaders and mostly pay respect to their parted souls. It is believed that the spirit of the past are always alive on the other side of the unseen world. It is therefore most Africans believe in paying respect in spiritualism of the past. Most specifically, this tradition fits well with the Pan-Africanism struggle for independence for the African freedom fighters. Without dwelling much on the religion, in the beginning of the 18th century, Islam began to spread across North Africa, and this shift of religion began displacing traditional African spiritual practices. The fusion of traditional African beliefs with Christianity provided a common place shared by different community cultures. This was the beginning of shared value experienced among different communities united together as a family, as one member of family. Today we are again coming together under one umbrella of Pan-Africanism to celebrate the 50th anniversary of African struggle for independence. It fits well to recognize and honor the Black African struggle for independence and dedicate in recognizing with honor those who before us put their lives on line to free Africans from oppressiveness, slavery, with black discrimination from white colonial regime rulership. And the past history is our witness. From the earliest days during the 17th century, American owners sought to exercise control over their slaves by attempting to strip them of their African culture. The physical isolation destroyed the historical values to some level and compounded the abandoning of African tradition and cultures, as can be seen within the Brazilian Haitians, the Dutch Guyanas, more specifically within the Caribbean island communities. Presently, historical situation in Africa has changed. There is a 21st century struggle facing Africa today. It is a new wave of Africa's biggest test, where Africans must unite to free themselves. If not, the whole race of Africa face destruction. With eminent African land invasion by those who are wealthy, it is known as the scramble for Africa. This is a new form of imperialism, where African leaders are complicit in the recolonization of Africa and a conspiracy of corporate occupation of Africa. We are saying, no, this is not going to happen. It will only happen if we feel comfortable with the arrangements and we don't engage and we don't commit the African leaders to do what they're supposed to do and engage the local communities to do activities that are productive, because the local community own the lands. The land does not belong to politicians. The land does not belong to the government per se, but the government belongs to the people. The people are the ones who are supposed to give direction how the government need to deliver services to the people. But if you are quiet and you don't demand for your rights, or you don't encourage one another, or you don't provide the education needed for people, to equip people to make the right moves and to make the right demands, public demands will not reach, and it will not provide the services that will make them be progressive. In commemorating Pan-African 50th anniversary celebration, it gives me a reason to recognize gains that were made by the African freedom fighters and realize areas where we need to take stock within African values in the historical struggle. The vision of African freedom fighters is real and is still alive. The spirit of our parted freedom fighters is still alive within us. It is the reason why, when we look back through the history, the spirit of the dream come alive. We must begin to get engaged and do better so this world is able to enjoy the unity peace brings in love. Complete happiness comes when historical cultures and tradition values are brought back to life to awaken the spirits of the freedom fighters. Their fights were not in vain, and so is the need for a united front to confront the scramble for land grabbing in Africa. Today, this calls for the question each one needs to ask: who are we? Who are we, the community of Black? What do we have? What do we think? What do we care for the future? How do we want our future to look like? How do we want to leave this world different from how we found it? Our historical values for struggle is the reason we must be united to stop selfish gains by land grabbers, which is to destroy livelihood and survival of African existence in the challenges of the competition at the global marketplace. Another reason which is about to cut us off from connecting our ancestors and the spirit of African cultural tradition. A syndicate of conspiracy by the wealthy rich on land grabbing against poor Africans in Africa is a new wave of serious injustices. It is a serious plan to abuse, commit crime, and engage in violation against human rights, which is a ratified international treaty that demands an early legal intervention, mediation, compensation, and reparation. We are in 21st century, and the world is yet again shocked by another wave of unfriendly corruption taking toll in Africa by what is known as land grabbing. Africa's land has become another target for the mean, selfish, greedy, and the rich who wish to engage on free trade through influencing corrupt African leaders to illegally, irregularly, and unconstitutionally steal public resources without following any legal process. But the deals are done secretively under table without caring or consulting the legal rights channel for sale of disposing property. This they do in total disregard of the democratic constitutional principles and public mandate. Those who acquire Africans' land forcefully are after power and the control to monopolize world marketplace in the emerging markets. This behavior constitutes a serious crime, violation, and abuse of human rights against the vulnerable and poor Africans who lose their livelihood and survival violently with no prior consultation, no fair legal justice, or paying attention to their pleas for redemption, simply because the people are helpless and cannot defend themselves against such criminal invasion of their rights, dignity, and privacy. When people of Africa, in the event of losing their lands, are mercilessly killed and tortured without empathy because they are weak and helpless, so they can easily be driven out of their homeland to pave way for land grabbers? Is this the right way to do business? What is the world leaders' reaction against human rights violation, crime and abuse by land grabbers? Is it right for the world to simply just sit and assume the problem of Africa is not their problem and that they will do nothing about it? I say no. I think this is the beginning where we need to reach the end of our journey. Africa is the backbone of the world. Riches from Africa is what is making the computer, is what is making the cell phones we are using. But on the other concept, African does not get the benefit of it. Instead, they are killed and driven out of their land by force using political machinery. So together, if we are united, if the ICC Hague was created for those who are so powerful against their community and they do wrong against the human rights treaty, we have a voice to demand that these people be taken to Hague. We have a right to demand that reparation and the legal justice must begin to take effect for Africans. We have a right to place back those who suffered casualties, to demand to live justly and honorably like any other person, that the law should be fair to everybody. These corrupt, irregular dealings undertakes acquisition and transfer of large scale of land behind the scene. Often the deals are brokered at the expense and great losses of lives of the vulnerable African poor communities who lose their communities, homes and livelihood, sometimes violently. And they take the form of election casualties, election crimes that they put on other people, but they are organized crime by the politicians to find a way of getting rid people out of their land en masse. With no prior consultation, compensation, or means of appeal, this means that the land transfers engagement in Africa are based on violation and abuse, including crime against human rights that are punishable at the ICC Hague. I am a victim of land grabbing, and I'm giving a true account of what I have gone through, and it is not different to those other poor Africans back in the country. The amount of mental torture, huge losses, social and economic losses, excruciating trauma, pain and sufferings cannot be easily quantified or explained. There is nothing to compare with it. The feeling is like the world has ended for those who have been pushed out of their homelands. Me and my husband, we have 3 pieces of land. We have a land in Mombasa with a big home next to the State House. And we have 2 big lands in the countryside. We have fought a war in the court of Mombasa and in Nairobi for now 30 years. The land grabbers expect we will give up at the end of the day when our money gets finished. But God is gracious. They pushed my husband out of employment. This is how they intimidate you. And the company, which is an Asian company, teaming up with a Chinese company, are not even registered in the country to do business. They have a name of a business, but they are not legalized to do business. And they have been putting us into this excruciating pain and suffering when the government is just looking. And they sponsor the politicians for their campaign. And that is how the politicians gang with them to push us out. And every evening these people break into the house and they leave their crude weapon in the house to scare us. When we wake up in the morning, we find those crude weapons, we report to the police and nothing is being done. Eventually, we even caught their cars, and because they abandoned their cars when they were being chased, we sent out signals to our people, and they abandoned their cars, and still they were not taken by the police. They were let free to go. And back at home, our land is very resourceful with all the minerals. Again, we are told that the land has been bought by other people we don't know. We ask where the transaction was done and who were involved and how they acquired our land without our permission and license. Nobody will tell us. But we are determined that things are going to be done differently. We are going to demand for our rights. We are going to demand from the political leaders, now that we have a constitution, the community owns the land and the community has a right to start business with an investor who is going to follow the right procedure to do business. And if we do that united as a people, we cannot go wrong, because Mombasa has a port that we will not let go to the land grabbers just like that. And the people are determined. And the Nyanza people are determined. Across Africa, people are determined that the idea of corruption and political irregularities must stop, and leaders must begin to do things differently. At least more than 1 million people in Africa have been stolen from and are displaced, where many have been forced to live on the streets. Some are brutalized and killed every election time, with others having their families mercilessly killed when they are just facing it, leaving millions homeless without land or without any means to survive. African people in this category have lost everything, and they are without any hope for recovery, reparation, mediation, or any form of legal representation. We were with my brother last time at a WADU meeting, and we agreed, because I also attended another meeting at the World Bank. And what I realized, I don't know if most of you know, we have a Western Union where we send money to our people. Now, the World Bank, I think, have reached either a dead end, or their money is getting finished, or they don't have any more ideas. So what they are doing is they have called on the Western Union so they can match up. They have done a study and realized a lot of million shillings is being transferred by the diaspora back to their country, and they want to control that money. So they have agreed that they work together with the Western Union. And for that reason, we have said, if that is how they look at us, why don't we do things differently during the Pan-Africanism? Why don't we organize and have our Africanism bank account, and the people of diaspora and the black community make sure this is our bank, and we work and send money through our bank? Will we fail, or will we progress? All we need to do is just to start acting positively. Do things that we can do better and engage. We have accountants. We are not lacking the potential for brain. We have the brain. We have the experts. Let us use those experts. But let us not be stingy. We are not going to do things discriminatively. We are going to involve our brothers and sisters who are white folks as well. Because if we are united, if we create a harmonious, a very conducive environment to fellowship and associate, which I think Those were the same brains our forefathers, our Pan-Africanists were trying to do. If we go through that way, we can't go wrong. We will succeed. Reaching the solution from this mega problem in Africa does not need handouts or spoon feeding. When we have the resources, when we have the wealth that the world needs, the wealth that we have is what is going to grow the economy. If we organize ourselves properly and we know exactly setting out the priorities of how we want to move forward, we definitely will succeed. There is an urgent need for the world to join together and condemn and join with us to take legal action against the land grabbers for reparation and compensation. As it can be seen, victims of land grabbing with those displaced are still hoping against hope. But up till now, 5 years down the line, they still have no place to call home, especially those who were displaced in Kenya. Since politicians in Africa are so corrupt, the way to go is to engage the international jurisdiction team, which we also planned at our meeting, and I am in the process of setting them up, and resolve the problem of African land grabbing at the International ICC Hague Court, and provide sustainable resettlement. We will demand that we need a sustainable resettlement for the communities that were affected, so they can begin to live a life of meaning again. We can do that. We must agree to do that. We must tell our conscience that we really want change. And you can't just sing the song of change if you don't put it in action. You have to get to do something and get to do it somehow, somewhere you must get started, even if you're 2 or 3 people. You don't have to call a whole multitude to fill the house to do something. 2 or 3 can get going, but when you get the word, spread the word. I know we have been pushed and trained in the mind to just criticize what an African is doing. But we can get out of it by saying, okay, somehow I will talk, but let me just help. Let me just forward this. Let me just give the moral support. We can do it. Presently, the whole world is experiencing increase of food prices rising, high cost of fuel and rent, and the situation is not going to get any better soon if problem of Africa is not taken seriously, because the Chinese, they are even selling the vegetables in the country village side. Yes, they are the locals of Africa today. So if we don't wake up and join together, because some of our brothers are still behind in Africa, if we join together, we can do it. And if we agree that we can now begin to travel, to go to the countryside, we are ready to organize those travelings. I mean, we can travel, we can organize travels for the groups that want to go to visit. But you just don't want to go to visit and come with empty hands. You need to come back planning to do something. That is how we are going to solve our problem. Africa is fundamentally potential, and it cannot be underestimated that Africa is the backbone of economic stability for competitive industrialized world. How can land grabbing in Africa be taken lightly by the world leaders? Coupled with scarcity of new job creations, high cost of basic needs, increase of joblessness and homelessness, terrorist gangs will find room to thrive, and land grabbing in Africa will explore crimes of all kinds in high magnitude, which will definitely be catastrophic and which might turn explosive. It is definitely explosive right now, because those people with money want to engage organized crime to counteract any successful activity in Africa for the Africans. So how do we go about it? If you know there's something wrong, talk about it and put it across to the policymakers. We have not done that. we have not pressurized the policymakers to act on our issues. I see today our brothers and sisters of the community of Spanish, they are on it. They go to the streets and they demand it. And people know these people are undocumented. And they know they are illegal, but they still demand. They feel it is their right to demand for their right to stay. What about Africans when Africa is the backbone of the world that is carrying the whole world? How can we look at it? Today I'm here just to present the question. How can we brainstorm and move forward with what we have? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope we'll have another time.
We'd be remiss if we didn't take some questions and answers after hearing those remarks about the land grab and the loss of land in the motherland. I think that's a very, very serious issue that we should address. I knew about the land grab. In fact, somebody sent me an email about I think it's in Tanzania with the Maasai. They're running the people off the land because the government wants to set aside so many acres of land so they could have tourists come over and kill animals. I said, what is that? That sounded so crazy. I said, who would allow something like that to happen? I thought it was crazy. Now, you had mentioned the remittance, I can't say that word. Remittance. I can't say that word. Okay, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Now, we had spoke about that in September when Dr. Jeffries was here about breaking the back of the Western Union. There's a group of brothers in Maryland, Hyattsville, Maryland. These brothers from Ghana, and they're credible because I've dealt with them myself because I have a friend in Ghana who does business, and I've sent money over, but I mean that's a start that we could send our money to these brothers, go to these brothers and send our money and forget Western Union. If that's a problem with Africa and African people, hey, these brothers, I'm gonna give the address and the phone number. It's 3321 Toledo Terrace, and that's suite 202, Hyattsville, Maryland. 20782. That's the zip code, and the phone number 301-853-7245. And these, the brothers. Okay, very good. So the services that I received was excellent. I really, the service was good. Baba Kaleshi? I sent money to Ghana. I don't know where else other than Ghana. Minister Akbar,
The surrounding countries, they deal in the Safer, they do Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Liberia, and Cote d'Ivoire. But when I get up to talk, I'm going to mention them. I just wrote it down when you mentioned.
Okay. Very good, very good. Any questions? Yeah.
Somewhat questions, comment. Just so happens I just finished reading some stuff from a brother raised and born in Harlem, Spanish Harlem, right? My neighborhood, a Puerto Rican brother. And he was like discussing this same issue with Latinos. And it was interesting. Sister ended talking about the Latinos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to quantify, all right, in dollars and cents, all right, how much money Latinos are sending back into South America, Central America, so on and so forth, right? To the point that he pointed out that actually the legal, illegal immigrants from Latin America, Latinos, send more money back home, all right, than the U.S. sends to Israel.
Oh, wow.
So, when I'm hearing this sister, and you know, talking about how we can take advantage of that situation, all right, quantitatively we don't hear the numbers, all right, but it's probably a similar phenomenon happening here, all right, and as I said here, at 16, 17 years old, I was a Nation of Islam. The first thing the messenger was telling us about banking, we can get banks together, so we see the same thing happening here. It's still going on, right? So I just comment, no question.
Oh, okay. Great. Now, one other comment on banking. This community that we have here in D.C., the Pan-African community, we're about to launch a credit union. And May 19th, next month, we'll be at Soul 57. And we'll be announcing the coming of the credit union to our community. And we know it will be a very resourceful venture. Now, you have a new president, President Uhuru.
Right.
What can you expect from him?
Not much, because I did not support both of them, both Raila and Uhuru, because they are already engaged in corruption. And that corruption they had engaged in is what they were talking about, Vision 2030. And they were preparing the land for the vaccinations, for the corporate. And they took the money from the bank, and now they can't pay it back. And now the corporate are demanding for their lands. And that is how they have taken the oil. They colluded, both of them, Raila and Uhuru. So we are still in the struggle. We are still in the struggle to demand that they don't remove the people from their land unless they organize something like a cooperative, where both the local people also earn from the oil or from the resources, the mineral resources that they're taking. They're actually taking minerals for free. And they're driving people to the streets. So I don't see how somebody has a land which has all the resources and is just pushed out of his land, and the billionaires are making profit from it. It doesn't make sense.
Question?
No, I don't have a question. I have a comment. And I like what you just said about the cooperative, because I think those are necessary.
Why?
But the first thing about the cooperative has to originate from the grassroots, from the people. First, the cooperative should already be put in place before you even go to a corrupt politician. Now, you also mentioned about how these corrupt politicians, these corrupt office holders, are recruiting criminal elements. In the face of that, you have to face the reality that corruption has no qualms about resorting to violence to achieve its ends. Therefore, the people have to understand the necessity to be not only organized socially and economically, but be willing to defend themselves and to fight back, and to let the criminal element know, and let the corrupt politicians know that they will face the wrath of the people if they will not serve the people.
Now, China is a big. It's big. I watch the every day at 1 o'clock if I'm home. I watch the CCTV have a 1 hour annual Africa news show, and the Chinese, the new president of China, Zambia and South Africa, and he's going all over Africa, and I say, man, this is some trouble coming down the road with this.
Just to add to what you have said, Confederation Council for Africa has been educating people. We have a good number of informed people who we network on the internet at the grassroots, and the message is spread very heavily. But we have cooperative institutions in the country that were already placed, but the politicians are using it for their own interests. But right now, the only thing we are going to do, why I am now coming out, is to merge the Black American community from here with the Black, I should say the diaspora, the Black diaspora, work alongside the grassroots. That way we are going to be very powerful, and we are going to have a very strong voice against the government. So the diaspora with the grassroots work together in cooperative partnership to establish industries, small industries, whatever. That way we will start, and of course the banking. It will be difficult for the government to mess with it because we already now have a new constitution with devolution of counties, which the counties also have their own parliament. And we have very big cities like Mombasa, where we have our people, and in the Nyanza, the very fertile land, where it's controlled by the people. It is not a government public land. They are community lands. So these are the things where, of course, community lands are bigger. We have bigger portion of community land than what the government controls. So this is how we are going to beat the corrupt. But we have to reinforce that strength.
In Mombasa, is this the area where the people are trying to secede from?
Yes. Okay. Yes. But they're saying that because they've been left behind for many years. They're just now beginning to stand up for the government, for the corrupt leadership.
And okay, Tony,
your plans are very good, but the United States, China is doing one thing. All the colonial powers are doing all things, but the main thing that they're doing is they're starting that African, okay, and quite a few of the countries, in 40 countries, Africa has 54 countries, or 55. 40 countries already have dealings with the United States, getting ready to put their bases or access to their country as much as possible. And the first thing the United States is going to do, as soon as the people get organized and start doing, they will give you military aid, and and that's really going to wipe out, because they'll commit genocide. I mean, I know it because I was born in Panama, and I see what these people do with their military aid. And the first thing you have to do is we jointly have to join and keep the AFRICOM from being anywhere in Africa, and destroy all those dealings that they have, and make sure that they don't put one single base and don't have any access to ports with their ships or anything. And I mean, they're going to do it with zones off the ships, and we're going to have to be able to defend that. But that's something that we have to do. So don't look at what the China is doing. The United States is doing a whole bunch of, and all the Western world. Because one thing happening in Mali, and here comes the French soldiers going up in there.
Right.
And and the African Union was too weak to send anyone.
That is why we told people not to commit any violence or fight against the regime that has gone back to power. If they fight and there's trouble and when there's conflict, that is when they find an opportunity to get into the country. But if we begin to just get into the country and work with the grassroots, and there's peace, I believe there will be very little. Recently, I was hosting a group of women from Congo. They came and they were also putting across the same problem. And now the women are the ones who are fronting for this. They were demanding to even meet with the president. But we just managed to go to the Voice of America and they presented their case. But they are coming back. The women are making noise and they want the rebels to be removed from their country because they believe the investors, the American businessmen, are the ones who are creating the mess in their country. And they took Goma, and the women made noise, and I supported them, and there was a big, noise, and that is how they were removed from Goma. It was easy as just telling them to move out. But then we were wondering, why were they creating havoc and killing people if they were able to be just told to leave? Yes, I agree with you.
That's some serious issues going on in the motherland. Very serious issues. We got some other guests that we want to acknowledge. After we did acknowledge all the guests, I'm going to point to you and please introduce yourself. Yes, sir, my brother. Tell us who you are, any organizational affiliation.
Acting president of the Woodson Band for Jackson Bay Division, territory to UNIA.
All right. My president. Okay, my brother, you in the back there.
I'm Kaleshi Akbar. I am a member of the United Black Community. A board member of Appeal, which is the group that's organizing the credit union talked about earlier. I'm also a parent at Ujima Shule, the oldest and parent after school in the country. I'm also from Nigeria, and a whole other list of stuff.
All right. And he's sponsored one of the forums we had here in February.
Right.
The Back to Africa, real powerful forum. All the different groups who are doing work in Africa, we came and shared. So he's coordinated that. Next person. Yeah, you, brother. I wasn't.
Greetings, peace and blessings upon everyone. We welcome all of our guests here tonight. I'm Speaker Wilson, chairperson of the United Black Community, hosting this event. So it's an honor to be here amongst all of you today.
All right. And we have one last guest in the back. No, you, brother.
I'm Kamal Siddiqui with UBC.
He's the person who's going to present the lecture on global warming excellence. This is it here. And he's sitting back here like he's trying to get out, so I'm trying to get him up.
Yeah, he like to keep a low profile. But we don't. Okay. And, we have your information, and we're going to...
I can give you again by email. And for those that don't have the...
Is it on the thing that you gave us?
No, this is just...
Okay, please give us the email.
J for Europe.
J.
B for ball. A for Africa. T for Tom.
T.
E for England.
E.
C for Charles.
C.
Yahoo.com. Yeah. Is it communicated by I receive a lot of stuff.
Okay, very good, very good. Definitely gonna have to keep in touch.
You have to repeat it. Can you repeat that email?
Yeah,
okay, J B A T E C @yahoo.com.
When you write me an email, tell me who you are, where we met. I have so many emails.
Right.
So I can respond back.
Okay. So let's give Mama Judy a wonderful hand, please, for the presentation. Okay. We've come to Justice, and he's the international representative for the Nation of Islam. Is that the correct title? Okay. I read the final call. So, without any further ado, let's bring up this brilliant brother here who's going to share a lot about the African Union and his stay in Ghana. You live in Ghana? Someone told me. 12 years. All right. Let's give this brother a round of applause. Okay. Thank you. All right. Great.
First, I'd like to begin in the name of God. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. I want to first thank you very much for this invitation. And I'm a young lady, Khadija, and I know she has to go to school. She's in college, and so I don't want to keep her all night, but I thank her for coming. And she drove me here, and her mother is like one of my daughters. So I'm going to start. My talk tonight was on the vision, and the vision is a United States of Africa. I brought up here to talk about Africa a little. Tonight when I was coming, I was talking to Minister Farrakhan because he has a planned African trip, and we're hoping that it can coincide with the 50th anniversary of the founding of the OAU, which was actually on the 25th of May 1963. I want to talk about it after listening to my sister and her struggle, because I have taken a different position vis-a-vis the Chinese, going back to the history of when the Chinese first started in Zanzibar with Muhammad Babu, and how the Chinese, before there was a scramble for the wealth of Africa, we have to know that the Chinese traded with East Africa long before the white people ever came there. And so there's a history there. And we can blame the Chinese and give them fault. They're trying to do this, they're doing this in Africa, but we have to go back and look at history. My 12 years in Ghana, and I have to thank Minister Farrakhan, we were in Africa in 1986, and we were on our way to Burkina Faso when Thomas Sankara was still the president. And it was Rollins who asked Minister Farrakhan, do you have an office in Africa for your organization? And the minister said no. He said, why don't you open up one here in Ghana? Because he was told when Minister Farrakhan came there that he had to watch him. He was really not a Muslim. He was a communist trying to influence Africa using Islam. I mean, the CIA did a job on us. And in your country, Nigeria, Babangida was the president, and they actually convinced him that Minister Farrakhan shouldn't speak. And after Brother Khalid and us, we organized for the minister to speak. So our history with Africa goes back. But I want to just cover this Pan-African movement and what it represents. I'm talking to a conscious black group here. You're not unaware of Africa and the struggle. And our struggle is to bring our people to that level. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad started it a long time ago with the Muhammad Speaks. And the history of how the Muhammad Speaks started in New York. And Malcolm started it called Mr. Muhammad Speaks. But Malcolm, at the time that the 1960, 17 African nations became independent. And so there was a movement of African ambassadors coming to the UN. And Malcolm engaged them, brought them to Harlem. He would bring them to the restaurant, invite them to the mosque. So he was engaged in the Nation of Islam with what was happening on the African continent and stimulating this kind of movement. Most black people, and another thing the conscious community can do, we can sit around and criticize what people don't know about Africa, how they look at Africa and so forth,
but also we can take an activity. Martin Luther King is a prime example. We just had the 45th anniversary of his assassination. But most people don't know that Martin Luther King was inspired by Africa. When he, in 1957, and you get it in a book called The Days of Martin Luther King by Jim Bishop, take it and show it to the children, that it was time for him to have a vacation because he was working in the South. And they said, well, let's send him to, because of the way Negroes think, let's send them to Europe, to Paris and Germany. It was King who said, and you can read the words, he said, isn't a country in Africa becoming free soon? And one of the deacons said, yeah, this country, Ghana. This is 1957. So he left New York on a plane with Adam Clayton Powell, stopped in Portugal, then flew into Accra, and he attended the independence of Ghana. Martin Luther King. Now, most of our children, you may know it because you're the conscious community, but these young children don't know it. And so King came back. 1 month, April the 7th, 1957, he wrote a speech that he delivered at Dexter Street Baptist Church. And being the phenomenal part about Dr. Martin Luther King is that he wrote his speeches out as a testimony. And the thing about it, many people who write speeches, they stick to the script, and you feel the script more than you feel them. But King had the phenomenal ability that you could feel him in all of those speeches. So he wrote a speech called The Birth of a New Nation. And you can go online, pull it up. King, Dexter Street Baptist Church, April the 7th, 1957, and read that speech. And then instead of when they have King's birthday and you send your child to school with I Have a Dream speech, you give him that speech and say how Africa impacted Dr. Martin Luther King. And he wrote about it. You didn't hear it again until 1967 when he prepared the speech that he delivered at Riverside Church. You heard elements of how Africa impacted Dr. King. So you got to go, there's an axiom in mathematics, from the known to the unknown. You gotta take the known first. And in order to bring our young people aware, I brought this map from Africa. Now I know you can get them in Ghana, they're very reasonable, but don't forget the airfare to get there, okay? But if I bring them around and I tell the people, take the map, you can go to Kinko's and have it laminated and frame it and hang it up. And the children that are growing up in your house start talking about Africa. Talk about the different countries in Africa and the names. In 1963 when Kenya became independent, our newspaper had Jomo Kenyatta on the front. And I remember as a young man, Baba Lumumba, that I used to go to the movie. You saw 2 movies and a newsreel for 15 or 25 cents on Saturdays. And I remember sitting there watching them describe what was happening in Kenya. They said that these bloodthirsty people called Kikuyus, who had blood oaths and were killing white people in the highland. I'm sitting there looking at this. I said, wow. And they didn't talk about a freedom struggle or anything like that. They said that these were crazy Africans that the British had to imprison and so forth. This shaped our reference of Africa right on the screen. And so today you have the same thing. I'm going to try to stick to my notes here. I'm going to try to make this quick. I know that it's late, but I just want to say that we have a job. If we are the conscious community and we're not producing no babies, then our movement will die, just as they tried to put Marcus Garvey's movement to bed after he was arrested, deported, and at the young age of 53, he's dead, and they made out his movement did not exist. And this is what they've done. So if we became conscious and we know the connection between Africa and its importance, the world is after Africa, and you got it right, sister, and it's a land grab. It started with a man named Khashoggi, a Saudi Arabian, who realized that Sudan could grow enough food to feed the entire Middle East and most of the world. One country, the Sudan, it was then the largest country in all of Africa until it was broken up. And he realized this after they had in 1977 in March, they had the first Arab-African Summit Conference. And it was pulled together by Boumediene, who took the place of Ahmed Ben Bella, and Anwar Sadat, who became the first black president of Egypt in modern times. And they pulled together this because they realized that the wealth was in the Arab world, but the resources that could rebuild Europe, America, and the rest of the world again was in Africa, and they wanted to harness that and put a marriage between this oil money and the African continent, and this conference took place. Now most people, and you got to go back and read the history. In Ghana, one of the things that I learned that I use when I lecture to people who are not conscious as you are is the Sankofa bird. You have a Sankofa bird here, brother, on something? I'm sure. I'm sure you got one here somewhere. Okay. Okay. But the Sankofa bird is a bird, and it comes from the Adinkra signs among the Akans. Is a bird with its body going in one direction, but its head reaching over its shoulder, picking up an egg. And the symbolism is that in order to go forward in life, you have to know your roots. Now, most people said, don't talk about the past. I don't want to hear that. And that's why they all messed up. But you got to get young people and give them this. You have to tell them that you got to know your roots. And your roots come from Africa. Well, what is it about Africa that the Western world has said that, you know, it was a dark continent. It's this and it's that. This is the way Africa was described. Let me see what we got here. we got
varieties of them.
Okay, there's a Sankofa bird. And so our children who don't like history, if you're a teacher of children, put one on the desk, and that's where you start your history from. Say, what is it? I got to know what was in order to understand what is and make some intelligent projection on what will be. And so this is what we have to do, but we have to go after the youth. If we don't go after the youth, then the movement stagnates and it dies. There are young people. They're interested in business today because the capitalist has used this organized greed. You remember Michael Douglas's words in that picture, Wall Street? He said, greed is good. See? But that's the Western mindset. And so everything is centered around money. Even the brothers that I want to take to Africa, I just came back with George Frazier. You know Frazier Net? Yeah. Okay, he just went to Ghana for his first time. But everything that they were thinking about is what kind of money I can make. Not what kind of service. Not the fact that I've been taken out of Africa and brought into America, and that I got the learning of the Western world. And I should be like Joseph, who was put in prison and ended up with the key to the granary when there was famine in the home of his father and his brother. And it's a famine, a lack of knowledge, a lack of know-how, a lack of skills. When I first moved to Ghana, I really didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I couldn't do what I was doing in America, set up a little storefront march, start preaching, you know, the white man is the devil and so forth. I knew that that wasn't going to fly there because most of the people in Ghana are Muslims anyway. Most people think that, no, Ghana's a Christian country, but Ghana has more Muslims than Christians. So I had to come up with, what do we connect with the Africans with? I was blessed in those 12 years to visit 44 African countries. So I fell in love with Africa. I'll never forget the day that I was in Benin. I was going from Cotonou to Port Novo, and I drove across a lagoon, and I looked out. The brothers were rowing their boats, going out to see the fish. And I saw on the shore the people were farming. The beauty and the soul and the rhythm of Africa is absent from the minds of our people. And so therefore, if our people are going to be involved in Africa, first they have to understand it. So let me talk about the vision of the Pan-African Union. If you can get online, and the miracle of the internet, let's use the internet. The speech that Kwame Nkrumah delivered on May the 25th, 1963, and sitting there looking up at Kwame Nkrumah, I mean, and he was on a roll, things that he said then about how we have to use technology, how we have to unite Africa, how we have to make it a United States of Africa. This is 50 years ago. And when the enemy saw that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah at his freedom, his speech, and you can read that, when he said that the freedom of Ghana is meaningless unless it is tied into the total liberation of all of Africa. He was the first example of what the Western world didn't want to see, because he began to use the wealth of Ghana. Ghana had cocoa and gold, and plenty of it. The best cocoa in the world, for some reason, is grown in Ghana. And even though it spilled over the border into Cote d'Ivoire, the best is there. But he used the wealth of that gold and that cocoa to help other liberation struggle. The independence of the Congo. And he wrote on the Congo because Patrice Lumumba used to come to Ghana with Kwame Nkrumah helping him as a young man. So if we're going to move the African movement and make this marriage, and it's a difficult marriage, but it's a marriage of necessity, because we're talking about our place in the African Union, almost like we're begging them. We should be the ones who be the negotiators with China for the African continent. And how do you empower that? How does it happen? It happens that the African leaders, and sister, you're right, corruption has become a culture in Africa. When I get there, I'm involved in it. When I come in the airport and I know that the brothers, I got 5 or 6 bags, I don't want them to open my bag, so I got to give them $5 or $10. Okay, and they're standing there and they'll mark it and let it go. If I go downtown to get something that I need expedited right away, instead of it taking 6 weeks, I want it to take 1 day, I give him what is called a dash in Ghana. So I'm a part of that same corruption. But the white man has perfected the corruption in Africa. He knows how to play the leaders. He knows the leaders that he can use. And he knows that this love of wealth and that they feel give them power is how he uses his dollars to do exactly what he wants on the African continent. So what is our role? We started the Pan-Africanist movement with W.E.B. Du Bois in 1900. The meeting in 1919, it only had 57 people. 57 people. But it had an impact. And they were on the roll because they were conscious people, but they knew that they had to produce babies. The weakness of the Pan-Africanist movement in America is that we don't produce no babies, and we're busy arguing with one another. I talked to a Pan-Africanist about this meeting tonight. I called and I said, I'm coming into Washington, and I'm here on my own dime. Nobody bought me a ticket. My sister put me up at a hotel. I'm here on my own dime because I believe in it. And so I told the brother, would you come out? He said, man, I'm not going over there with them folks, man. They divided. They ain't doing nothing progressive. I'm going to some other meeting. So what you have to do is you have to know what moves half-baked Negroes, okay? Those that think they know something and they can't get along with one another. Somebody said it right. I think, Brother Imamu, you said it, that how are we going to talk about a movement and what we want to do on the African continent, and we can't even unite ourselves? We need to go Dust Off Enemies by Hakeem Marabuti. And when he attended the 6th Pan-African Congress in Dar es Salaam, you need to read how his view was of when we came to the table. All of us had different agendas. All of us were confused and fighting with one another. Of course you're going to have differences. It goes with life. But how you manage the differences, how you know the things that you need to bury and put on the side for the greater end of what you are trying to accomplish. And this is our problem, the black Marxists. I mean, I sit in a meeting when Dr. Manning was working on the reinvention of Malcolm X. And I listened to the brothers, black professors in academia, beat the hell out of him. What is he going to come up with now? What is he writing about? But look, I disagree with a whole lot of things he said in the book, because he attacked my leader, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Minister Farrakhan. But he did the best coverage of Malcolm in Africa than anyone. Go read anybody who talked about it. He covered the countries. He covered the circumstances. He made a lot of assumptions that I didn't agree with, but he covered Malcolm in Africa, and that's what you have to highlight. Spike Lee made a movie for 3 hours and 20 minutes, and the only thing you saw about Africa was Malcolm on a camel in Egypt, like he was a tourist, not covering all of the countries and the impact that he had. I was sitting in Tanzania in Dar es Salaam doing a radio interview, and I just wasn't smart enough at the time, but I'm thinking about the interview, The man said, you know, Malcolm X was interviewed in the studio. I didn't even know Malcolm had went to Tanzania. And he said, and I got the tape up here somewhere of the interview. And all I had to say, could you please find that tape? I'll stay here until you get it, but I didn't do it. But you have to look at it and look at Malcolm as he went through Africa. Malcolm's, say, I came in the nation under Malcolm in 1960 in New York. And Malcolm's words were always, traveling broadens one's scope. And you got to see the outside world. Because, you know, there's a Turkish proverb says, the eye sees everything but itself. But if you're here all the time and you're looking out, you really don't see it. But go outside of America for a while and look back and see what you see. Let me just make a few more points. You know, we had a strong relationship with Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi and I are the same age. I used to talk to him about it all the time. And when he was brutally killed, it hurt me because he was more than just a brother or leader that we knew, but he was our brother and friend. He would sit down and talk about things with us. I mean, he was our brother. Not only the money that he helped the nation with, but Muammar Gaddafi, and I'm just going to say this, and I'll try to say it quick and get off it. You know, he hadn't attended the African Union or OAU for years. And it was because in 1983, when he was the chairman and they were to meet in Tripoli, they couldn't get a quorum because the Western powers told them that they shouldn't go to Tripoli. And it hurt him. That they were so weak that they would be controlled. So he didn't attend until the Ouagadougou grouping came. And the African countries were in pain because Gaddafi was under sanction and isolated, and this man had all of these billions of dollars that he was helping different places in Africa. The sanctions cost him $30 billion that he was robbed of. So he decided to go next door to Algeria. And I'm pointing this map out because this is what you can do with the children if you get a good map of Africa. They're in the back. You can pick up one on your way out, okay? But anyway, he went to the 1999 summit in Algeria, and he got up to speak. Rollins told me that they were really laughing at him. And then he began to talk. He said, you will all be destroyed. He said, unless you come together and unite. He said, they're going to take you off, pick you off one by one. And he began to go into it. And he challenged them on 9/9/99, let's meet in Sirte, Libya. And let's discuss how we can form an African Union moving towards a United States of Africa. And he said, this is not nothing new. This is not me. Then he went back to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Gamal Nasser. He walked down the line. He said, this is what they started with the OAU. But the liberation struggle was going on, so we couldn't focus on uniting. We were trying to get rid of the colonial masters. And one of Rollins' top people, Victor Beho, who used to be the ambassador to the UN for Ghana, told me, he said, Akbar, many of the heads of states were sitting there sleeping until he started talking, and he kept going. And their heads came up. And he said, all of you will lose what you got. And he got it. So on 9/9/99, they came to Sirte, Libya. He met and he talked about forming an African Union on the order of the EU, but he said moving towards a United States of Africa. Now, most of them opposed him, and the West was definitely against him, especially when he started talking about taking oil off the dollar standard. Okay? So then, but he moved it forward. You know why he could move it forward? Where they destroyed Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, had a coup engineered by the CIA with a Negro in charge of the whole thing, and they stopped Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and then eventually he died of prostate cancer. I think he was 63. I got to look that up. But the point, Gaddafi invoked all of their names, and he had the money and the influence that he could do it. And so Gaddafi began to move it. And then as he began to move it, it caught on. They met, and I was at most of the conferences, not that we could afford to go, but Gaddafi would always send for us. Now, I'm going to close out on something that he did so we can take a few questions and we can close this meeting. But Gaddafi would send for Minister Farrakhan, me as the international representative. We would go to the OAU meetings and we watched them. The ones that the opposition, NAPAD was in opposition really to Gaddafi. It was to kind of slow him down. They made it look like it was something good, but in Becky and all of those in the southern tier of Africa, they didn't want to lose their grip. They didn't want to become like a governor of a state. They want to remain leaders and, you know, the red carpet and so forth. You know, the planes that welcome and the cars and the Mercedes-Benz to become like a governor of a state. That was problematic. There's nothing wrong with tribalism. And so when Gaddafi started moving and they realized that he had the wealth and the influence in Africa, they had to stop it. So they began to work in different countries. So Gaddafi, and I'm telling you, people say he's crazy, he's this and that. He's a thinker. He said, I know. You know who has more power than the politicians in most African countries? The chiefs. And they were not chiefs until the white man came. The people in Ghana said, we were always kings. He said, but the white man came and said, look, there's only one king, the king of England, you chiefs, okay? Or the king of France. That's how this word chief came along. They were kings in their own right. So Gaddafi began to work with them. And he knew that they would have influence on the young people. The young people want a United States of Africa. The young people want to change. The young people are sick of corruption and watching these leaders. And every time there's an election, look at how many people die in Kenya, the fighting and the killing in that last election. They say 3,000, but most Kenyans say up to 6,000 people may have died. Look at how many people die every time there's an election in Nigeria. They don't even want to talk about it. No. But when Obasanjo went to voting, 10,000 people in Nigeria. Look at the chaos in Nigeria right now. Look at what's going on. So therefore, Gaddafi began to work with the kings and the chiefs. I attended the conference where 2,000 traditional leaders met in Tripoli. Gaddafi brought them together. Many of them had never been seen other leaders, other kings, and he introduced them to each other and said, you have to help me with the proposition of the United States of Africa. Now let me go back to my point. We represent the kind of influence that we can play, but we're divided. Find out what we can agree on. You know, Imam Muhammad, may God bless him and rest his soul, the last meeting I had with him, now I used to be his assistant before I left. I couldn't go along with, you know, carrying the American flag and our boys should join the army. I just wasn't there. I was raised under the likes of Minister Farrakhan and Malcolm X, and that wasn't where we were at. I couldn't do it. That it wasn't a religious disagreement or this or that, but I was not going to champion America, knowing what America did and how it crushed our people and how we suffered, and I'm going to be out there walking down Main Street with an American flag. That's why when Barack was elected and I was at the inauguration, the brothers was running around handing American flag. I said, brother, get that flag away from me because somebody's going to take a picture. Akbar, they got Akbar. He's out there waving the American flag. Not me. I'm just not there. The last conversation I had with him, you know what he said? He said, I'm bringing suits in from Turkey. He said, let's do something together that we can agree. He said, the brothers in the Nation of Islam wear more suits than anybody else. So why should you go and buy them from the enemy? I'm bringing them in. Let's agree that we can do that. That's what we have to do. We have to find out what we can agree on. See, we can't go to the African Union with our hands out. Could you recognize the sixth, what do you call it? The sixth region. The sixth region. And we're the Africans in the diaspora, and we should be a part of it. That's the way we're going. We should be stronger than that if we come united. Right. There's the, you know, Jesse Jackson trying to get in, and then the people who got differences with Minister Farrakhan. Then there's the hardcore nationalists. Then there's the Marxists, and then there's the radicalists. So we got to go there united. There's going to be differences. But one of the things Imam Baraka said, and I agree with him, with all of the disagreements that I had with him, he said unity and diversity. Right. We're diverse, but when it comes to certain things, we have to unite. Why don't we go? If we tell the African leaders, you got a problem with the Chinese. Now, really the problem with the Chinese is rooted in America because most people, and especially black people, don't know that the #1 trading partner with Africa is where? United States of America. Number one, Kenya is tied to America right in its bootstraps. Sister, I want to just say something about the luau's and the coming of Barack Obama's family. If you get the book Obama Nation, Jerome Cosi, a PhD who did the Swift vote on John Kerry during that election, he went and studied the details. I'm glad that Kenya didn't allow him to come there to speak. He was invited. But he wrote how John F. Kennedy's family is responsible. See, when Kenya became, let me just digress a minute. When Kenya became independent, Jomo Kenyatta realized that he didn't have people with the capacity to run government, so he had to begin to educate his people. So he began the Russians quite naturally. He sent them to Russia. But here in Uganda, there was Makerere University. Uganda at that time was ruled by Milton Obote, who was a Marxist. And so a lot of the Kenyan students started going there. But Kennedy's family paid for a plane that picked up 100 Kenyans, a lot of the luau's, because this clash between the Kikuyus and the luau. And in that plane was the father of Barack Obama. And then they dropped him in different spots all across America. I mean, it's a long history. Let me just finish this last point. I'm going to tell you my favorite quote. It says, Elizabeth Taylor and her ninth husband. What's her quote? I won't be keeping you long, but I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to make this.
We got you on that one.
Okay. Let me try to finish this up.
Take your time.
Brother Gaddafi came to Ghana for the African Union. Ghana had the chair. John Kufuor was the president for that year. And you know how this goes. I won't go into the history of it. But Gaddafi came. It was one of the highlights of my life personally, because Gaddafi came to the Golden Tulip Hotel that the Libyans owned, because he had never seen it. And they owned the biggest hotel in Ghana. And he was in a struggle there. So I got into the main, I know a lot of people in Ghana, so I got in. And the struggle was the Do It Now for the African Union and the Go Slow group. And Museveni was in charge of one of them. Museveni, who Gaddafi in 1986 got into power. Without Gaddafi, he would not be in power in Uganda right now. And so they were battling. And Gaddafi was actually struggling with them, because they said that this United States of Africa, this African Union, is moving too fast. We need regional groupings, see, first, and we need to concentrate on that, and then we can move slowly. And Gaddafi was upset, but he didn't have the power to move it, because those African leaders were influenced by outside people. And they didn't learn the lesson of Malcolm in 1964 when he went to the OAU, and Gamal Nasser, Kwame Nkrumah, and others wanted him to speak, to address the body. Two things happened, and you can read this in the history of the OAU. They made it so that no outside person could address the conference without the delegation voting for that person to address him. Malcolm, even though some of the Malcolm lovers say that he addressed the OAU, he did not. He did not. He wrote a speech, but he never delivered the speech, because the American government went around to the African leaders who depended on them and said that you're interfering with the internal affairs of America. If you get Louis Lomax's book, this is the conscious community, you know Louis Lomax. He wrote a book called To Kill a Black Man. It's still available, and in that book it's about King and Malcolm. And in that book he has Malcolm's speech that he wrote, and Malcolm could not deliver the speech because of the influence of America. And to show you my point about you got to study what happened before in order to understand what is, Mrs. Joyce Banda, who became president of Malawi, she had the seat to have the OAU conference there, but they came to her and said that if you allow this conference and allow Omar Bashir from the Sudan, who's wanted by the ICC, to come to this country, we're going to cut off your aid. And she let the conference go to Ethiopia that year. Weakness. So this is where the Africans in the diaspora, first we got to get together on what we can agree on. Okay? I mean, that's all it is. You know, the people outside, they don't like us to wear African dress. They say them dashiki wearing so-and-sos, you know, with their favorite words, okay? Talking about that African stuff, they broke as hell, they ain't got no money in doing it. See, that's the way they talk about conscious Afrocentric people. That's the way they talk about us. And you got to face that reality. But also, you got to change that reality. Now here you got a person like, what's the man that plays Medea? Tyler Perry. Now this man is loaded or Oprah. But if you notice, they don't make no pictures that project the right image. The other night I looked at a picture on the Don't Die Alone or something like that. Anybody know this black movie, Don't Die Alone? It was terrible. I mean, it was so terrible, you know, because the MF word has become our password. The F word, you know. Bring me my effing bag. Or let me get the F out of here. Who the F is he? And so forth. It has become a part of us, and they put it in movies. But look at what they could do to show you about image in Africa. They don't want to show you anything positive about it. But look at I'm giving you an example. David Robinson, you know who that is? Who's David Robinson? Huh?
The basketball player?
No. Thank you. The son of Jackie Robinson. 42 is coming out. Yeah. Now, how many of them know that he is in Tanzania and he's been there for years with his coffee farm? Okay? Do black people know that? No, they don't. But you, the conscious community, you know it. But how can you seize the opportunity to talk about this man went to Africa? I sat down and I talked to him. He told me how it started. He said how if all of us, instead of buying that Zionist Swartz who owns Starbucks, he's a hardcore Zionist who spends all his money supporting Israel and crushing Palestinians. And we look how much money we go in there and pay $5 for a cup of coffee. But you gotta, the Negro is dead. That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he's a dead man. But the conscious community is the community that has to wake him up. But look how we could say, 42, David, where's his sons at? His son is in Tanzania. What is he doing there? He's growing coffee and selling it to other people in the world, but his own people know nothing about it after what his father suffered to open the door to get into baseball. That's a thing that, who can argue with us? But if this is the conscious community and you want to wake up people about Africa, then you got to start somewhere. Then we got to not go down there, the 6th region, and our hat in our hand, will you invite us? Can we come? Can we have a platform? We have to demand it. Right. And if we don't demand it, then we got to be strong enough to condemn them. So you're so beholden to the Western world that crushed Africa, robbed us out of Africa, took your resources, and here we are your brothers in the West, and you worried about what they think, and so you don't even open the door for it. And then they send poor Amina Ali, that's our ambassador, right? Nice sister, but she's like a lion with no teeth. A young lion with no teeth will starve to death. She don't have no teeth. And we can't deal with it like we walking on eggshells. We need the Chinese came, I just came from the First Lady's conference in Los Angeles, and it's really a bad thing. Here, I don't care if it was 2 First Ladies. It didn't get 1 line in the Los Angeles Times. If the final call didn't cover, get this week's final call and you'll see it. But here, 15 were invited. 4 years ago, 15 came. This year, only 8 came. But powerful ones came. Mozambique, they got tremendous wealth. Tremendous wealth. And they came because they're looking for a door of how they can get into. They didn't come just talk to white doctors about every woman, every child. They want development in their country. So we got to step into those doors. We got to be present. You know, and sometimes we're so broke we can't be present. But let me close with this, and I will close, okay? I went to Alabama. My daughter got in the accident. Some of you remember Earl Shinholster, who was the president of the NAACP when they kicked out Ben Chavis, the brother who stepped in before Kwesi Nkrumah became the director. And he came to my house in Africa because he was hurt. But Africa appealed to him. He came, he was dressed down in his African stuff, and we sit on my porch. And because he didn't get the job, he wanted to get involved in something else overseas, and he wanted to get involved in Africa. So when I was in Liberia, Charles Taylor, who was a longtime friend of mine, and I was in Liberia after the war was over. He won a fair election in 1997, and but he took me to the camps where the internal displaced people were. Their mother and father would kill all of these children. And I said, the problem, President Taylor, is that we need to have a people-to-people relationship with black people in America, and they'll help you. Firestone had promised that they would ship whatever goods you got, they would ship them free. Because don't forget, they bought 1 million acres at 3 cents an acre. It was a big plantation. And sometimes when I come back, we'll talk about the bells of Shangri-La, and Ozzie Davis was stationed there in Liberia. Well, it's another story. But anyway, I said, Mr. Taylor, why don't you come? You're the president now, and speak around America and go directly to the black community, because in your Constitution that you did not take out, and he refused to take it out when he was the president, that any Negro that comes to Liberia is granted 1 acre of land and citizenship, and it's in their Constitution. So he said, Akbar, I can't go to America. I'm an escaped criminal. I escaped from jail in America. Whether the CIA set it up or not, I don't know. But he couldn't go. So I said, Mr. Taylor, then what about your wife, Jewel Howard Taylor? She's articulate, good Christian woman, and so forth. So he sent his wife. And they started a tour. I was going to do the tour. But we got a call from Gaddafi, and Minister Farrakhan had to go to Libya. So I asked Earl Shinholster if he would handle the tour for me, and an accident happened on the road. Earl Shinholster was killed. My daughter was severely hurt, and quite naturally we sued Ford, because it was a rollover. But he died. The point I'm making is that he wanted to get engaged with Africa. He came to me because I was his brother. He knew I lived in Africa, and how could he do it? There's other brothers out there thinking like that. So we got to cultivate them. We got to try to bring them in, because the Africans in the diaspora have the power to make this change. The Chinese want to host the First Ladies Conference. They came to me in Los Angeles, and because they just got there, a man flew in from Beijing and so forth. He couldn't speak English. He had a Chinese-American woman to translate for him, and they wanted to do that. And what I saw is that we could be the middle people. We could do it. But Dionne Warwick was my guest in Ghana, and she said this to Rollins. She said that, Mr. President, we can do a lot of things, but you have to empower us. Okay, such as Rollins got a $163 million grant from the bank for some infrastructure development in Ghana. They send these young white boys to do the feasibility study. They get business class tickets. They get a per diem, so many dollars a day, best hotels, and they get about $5,000 or $6,000 just the week or so that they're there for the project. And Rollins said to me, "Don't you have some black people who can do this?" We said, "We do have them, but you got to step to the plate and say, I don't want them. I want some of those who y'all robbed from here in the holes of slave ship, mistreated them in America. They well educated, so why don't you send them back? They make the best image." Julius Nyerere, when he came to power and Tanzania became independent, he had this thing that we had to help our people and reshape their mind. So we needed black images in front of them so that they could see that black people can do things. Right. So the conscious Afrocentric community, we got a job in front of us. Instead of, I don't like them black Muslims, I don't like them Hebrew Israelites, and I don't like them other brothers, this. See, all of that kind of stuff we get into. When we got to look at, there's a big picture. Sister, you said it right. There's a scramble for Africa right now.
Right.
And they're taking land in Ethiopia right now. There's up to 80 million people in Ethiopia, where coffee started at. And they're taking the land, using it. The Chinese are in there, but the Chinese can be handled. You know how you get them to do? You got to shame them. Yes. America, when you shamed America, that's when they begin to change the law. Because the world looked at them. Hoses and dogs on black people and beating them down in the street. They were shamed. And so this is what you got to do to the Chinese, and you got to do it to these African leaders. Thank you. God bless you. Assalamu alaikum. let me finish on two things. One is that a black Libyan, and Libya is in chaos as I stand here right now, complete chaos. The oil is not going out the way it is. The black Libyans, and there's tons of black Libyans. I used to go to villages that the whole village was black. I used to say, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Libya." I'm a Libyan. And Libya was the transit point for the people going to Europe. And it's a shame of how many brothers and sisters died on boats. There's a film, the African Film Festival was in St. Louis 2 weeks ago at Washington University, and they took Senegal, and they showed these people, they tried to sail up here to get to Gibraltar or get to Spain. And Libya was the transit point. They would go through Niger and cross because Gaddafi left the borders open. And so all of these black people came, and they were trying to get to Italy. And right now the new route has been through Turkey and to go into Greece. But black people are suffering across Europe terribly. So there can be a change. So when Gaddafi, this black Libyan brother, he put a study on African Union government, okay, because he was laying out the systems that you have to put in place. And it's good for us to read it because we need a system to put in place for the Afrocentric community, the Pan-Africanists in America. We need a system where people will feel the freedom to join. We need a business department. If a brother like to wear the white man's war outfit, which is the shirt and tie, let him wear that, okay? If he don't have on a bogolan, a mudcloth shirt, it's all right. But you do your job over here, but we know where your head is at, okay? So you got to be able to work at that. So the brother, a black Libyan brother, and I'm telling you, they gave me 1,000 green books right before they overthrew Gaddafi. He just said, take these green books. And I tell you, after Gaddafi was killed, all of them are gone. Because that one line in there, that the black man will come to the top. Okay? Right. And a lot of Libyans, somebody said it, they didn't like that. They didn't like the idea that Gaddafi was talking about. I mean, look at the pictures. He started wearing African dress. Yes, he did. You understand, and so forth. And they didn't like the idea that he was preaching the fact that the black man was going to rise to the top. We loved it. And he didn't just say it out of his mouth, but he showed it in how he helped Africa. And what is so painful, like in Mali, I was in Mali right before the coup, and I met with the president, Touré, who was overthrown, and he told me in his office, there were 6 of us there because the African dude left, had a meeting there. He said that the destruction of Libya and the killing of Gaddafi is going to affect all of the Sahel, from Mauritania all the way across this area of Africa. And he said eventually it will move down into Africa, the destruction of Muammar Gaddafi. And before he could get it out of his mouth, 6 months later, he was the first one overthrown. And he said because of the amount of weapons that Gaddafi had installed in the southern thing, Gaddafi just opened it up and let all of the people take the weapons, and then they brought the weapons back into this conflict area. What's happening in Nigeria? The largest populated country on the African continent with 160 million people is their new figure now. Then now Boko Haram. And Boko Haram in the Hausa language means, loosely translated, Western knowledge is forbidden. Now that's crazy as hell. That's what they say. These are crazy fundamentalist Muslims. And all of these crazy Muslims is what we have to stop. That's why Barack Obama is positioning all of these drones in these AFRICOM countries so that they can take leaders out that are not pliant. And John Perkins in The Economic Hitman, he got it in there clear as day. Go pick up your book and dust it off. He said that first they try to persuade you. If you don't go along, then they send in the gun. The gun today is the drones for any leader in Africa that gets out of line. So the brother wrote this, and it's a good short study. And I'm advertising. I got a few left. He gave me the last before I don't know what happened to the brother, but he came to Ghana and he was living there because he was a Gaddafi loyalist. The only reason that Saif Islam, Gaddafi's son, is still alive in Zután because they think he knows where some of the $476 billion that Gaddafi has is somewhere. They didn't find it, so they don't know where it's at. And if they kill Saif, as they killed his he had 6 sons, they killed 3 and 3 are still alive. Muhammad, the oldest son by his first wife, is with the mother in Algeria, where Aisha had a baby in Algeria, Bouteflika is protecting them. You know, he won't let them go. Sanusi went to, that was the chief of they're like CIA Mauritania, and the West convinced them to turn him over. And his other son is in Niger. And so they want the one that know where the money is at. All of this money and gold that Gaddafi had, and that's why they're still alive. So, okay, I want to thank you. I'm going to open up for just 2 questions, because I know it's late. And Khadija, thank you for being with me tonight. Okay, honey, you got to drive me home.
I'm learning.
Okay. Okay. Sister Lisa, do you have one of my cards? Oh, could you look in the side of that phone? Okay, is there? I'm gonna take 2 questions. Yes, my brother.
Yes, sir, brother. I'm honored to be here with you tonight.
Thank you.
For eloquent presentation, and I guess I just want to put on the table a question that has been burning for many of us over the years. You personally knew Brother Malcolm. He brought you into the nation, you said, and of course you've been an international representative of PAAR. Very sensitive subject, very controversial piece, but are you at liberty to at least discuss what role, if any, Mr. Farrakhan had in the assassination of Brother Malcolm X?
Well, none whatsoever. And we have to understand enemy. The thing that they do is they find little threads. The day that Malcolm was killed, the minister was teaching at the Newark Mosque, 25. The people that had something to do with the death of Malcolm came out of Jersey, and not our 2 brothers out of New York. One of them that confessed that he was a part of the team who had been out of the nation for a long time. However, the enemy engineered it. They wanted to tie Minister Farrakhan into it because of the popularity of Minister Farrakhan among the masses of people, and they wanted to loosen that up because Malcolm is the patron saint of the struggle, and if he had something to do with the death of Malcolm, then we don't want nothing to do with Minister Farrakhan. So people have a love-hate, they're unsure. But it's the enemy who has directed the traffic on how people view Minister Farrakhan and even think about Malcolm. I lived through that period. And I know the pain that I went through because I love Malcolm. I was in his first ministry class at March number 7. There was 5 of us. And we all loved Malcolm. And then to see him leave the nation and then brutally killed like that, then it bothered us all. Nobody just said, well, that's later for him, you know, he ain't no good and so forth. It doesn't happen like that because there's a human emotion here that touches the heart when somebody is your teacher, okay? So, no, Minister Farrakhan had nothing to do with it. Poor Mary J. Blige, and what's the other one, the other sister, the actress?
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, they're just pawns. They're just pawns by the Zionists. They're not politically astute to all of this. They don't know what it is. It's a little job, they pay them some money, and they act that out, not knowing what the bigger picture, the bigger scheme is in itself. No, brother. Thank you very much. Yes?
Yeah, you said you've been to 44 countries.
What is maybe the 3 things that's missing that Africa really needs? If you could say 3 things, could it be infrastructure? Could it be water? Could it be health? What's really
an educational system that prepares people to build a society. There's a book that I just got. I'm trying to get through it because, you know, trying to read all of the stuff that our nation fails. Of the 54 African nations now, 27 are mentioned in there. And if you're a good research person and you like material, Robert Kaplan wrote a piece. It started in a magazine, and then it became a book called The Coming Anarchy. And he, like a prophet, predicted the chaos that would consume Cote d'Ivoire. I couldn't believe it. Hopefully Bonnier was alive. You could go roller skating. I mean, if you go to Cote d'Ivoire, it was a beautiful place. They were growing cocoa, and they were outstripping Ghana in terms of export. The place was beautiful. He said it was going to fall apart. He predicted that in 1993. I showed it to President Rollins. It was in a magazine. Now it's in a book, but you can get it in a book. Robert Kaplan, The Coming Anarchy. That's what the name of it is. But then in this book, these 2 writers are writing about why nations fail. So your question is, brother, education that prepares you to build Africa. how many gemologists, that's what you call them, people who know stones and metal. Look at how coltan has started, fueled a war in the eastern part of the Congo. And then, what's his name, Kagame in Rwanda is a part of that whole thing. And even though people are dying, women are being raped in the countries in chaos, they're drawing out the coltan every day going into the West. So an education is the number one thing, okay? And then your culture, you have to hold on to your culture because that represents your principles. I'm going to give you this example quickly. The Muslim world, when they were struggling against the colonial powers, many of them went into different belief things. Yasser Arafat basically became a Marxist. I remember the first time that he opened up a speech in the Sudan, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He would just say, Ikhwan, brothers, and he would speak. But they moved away from what was the base of their life, the principles, their faith, Islam. And they went all kind of directions. And when they got out there, they realized that we've lost everything. We've lost our women. We've lost our children. The principles that we built our lives on because we went away from our cultural roots. And that's what they're doing in Africa. If you look at the women in Africa now, they used to wear long dresses. When I first went to Uganda in 1977, the beautiful dresses, they had these big things on that they wore and everything. You go to Uganda, you can't find one of them except in a remote village. They all got on mini skirts. They're all trying to look like the West. I'm telling you, even we may wear an African print, but they got the African print into a mini skirt. Their backs out there, bust show. So this is taking you away from your cultural roots and controlling you through that. There's a move in Nigeria. A lot of Nigerians are leaving Europe. Some leaving America and going back to build the Liberia. They got Nigeria. They got a mayor of Lagos, a very progressive brother, that's making it possible for people to do legitimate business. Nigeria is an important country, and it's a shame that the West has put a jacket that they're all criminals. You understand? Because you started a culture of corruption, and then you put it on us as if we did all of this. But they did it. So that education, brother, those are the things that I think that would move Africa forward, and to create an environment where Africans will stay at home, be able to earn money, to be able to live a quality life, take care of their families, then you would see a different change. I just want to mention Mr. Dodgy, the one who owns the First African Exchange Bureau. He is my friend since 1990 when I got to Africa. And when we were doing our convention there, and the money was slow coming from America, he advanced me a tremendous amount of money. And we became friends, because as soon as the money came in from America, I gave it back to him. But you're right, if we can have those bureaus, the Somalians had it, but the American government crushed it, where you can put Western Union out of business or make demands on Western Union. They're making millions of money. As soon as the sanctions were lifted off Libya, the first sign that I saw in the streets of Tripoli was Western Union. Okay, I think that's it. I want to thank you very much. I know it's late. Yes, my brother.
Brother, I traveled over from D.C. The Hague. Want to know how we can get you into Baltimore.
You right here. Why don't you give him your card? Okay.
You can talk to me afterwards, and I'll help you.
Okay. But tomorrow I'm going to be at the this thing that the Answer Coalition is putting on. It will be in the front of the White House, and then we're going to George Washington University tomorrow about drones in Africa. Okay. George Washington.
The rally starts at noon at Lafayette
And it's
Square.
only going to be an hour and something at the rally.
Right, and
we
then
got
they're
a
leaving
permit
there going to GW.
GW.
What time at GW?
I would say two.
About 2.
Because the rally may go a little longer.
Okay.
And is that the Marvin Center or where? Lisbon or what?
Do we have, on that Answer Coalition paper that I gave out, there's a phone number? Why don't you call and get the center?
Yes, there's a phone number on the Answer Coalition, 202-265-1948.
Thank you.
I want to mention that the new president of Ghana is John Dramani Mahama. He came from a Muslim family, and in his book,
It's kind of a long story, but I'll make it short. I was in Canada speaking at the Black Lawyers Conference, and the brothers say, Akbar, we got the biggest bookstore, we say, in the world here, and they wanted me to go because they know I'm a book lover. I said, I really can't go. So they went and they bought this book, they put it on my nightstand in my room. The next morning I got up and I looked at it, it said my first coup d'etat. And he wrote this book before John Arthur Mills died. Okay? In it is two important chapters. How I got my Christian name and Sankofa. That's what he got in here. Talked about Africans in the diaspora. And see, things like this we have to use for what we want to do. And the importance of the Africans in the diaspora to the process of moving Africa forward. But it's really an interesting book. But those two chapters, the book is interesting because his father worked for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown, his father went to prison. He tried to rebuild his life and he just couldn't do it. So he ended up leaving Ghana, and most of his children raised in London until they could come back. But they're Northerners. He was raised in a Muslim family. His name, actually, he took on John as his Christian name because in order to get into the schools up there, you had to have a Christian name. See, that's where they started. But when they end up getting you, boy, you be praying to a white Jesus and everything else. But his name, John. Now, if you pray to a white Jesus, I'm not talking about. His name is John. He took John on. Rami means Abdul Rahman, and Muhammad means Muhammad in their language. So he's the president of Ghana. Young, very conscious, 53-year-old brother. Okay, so we could work with him because he talks about the importance of the Africans in the diaspora. Okay, so I'm going to leave you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Family, let's do this before we go. Last time we had Wadu here, we took up a collection. We gave a little something for Wadu, and we gave something for the UMOJA house. So, can we do that tonight? I know it's kind of...
And please support the table. I got magazines from Africa. I got books for children from Africa and some books from South Africa that you don't see in the American market. Thank you very much.